kung fu in a while. Martial arts epic. You've heard us talk about it many, many, many times on the show. The Raid Redemption, and me and Gaz are like, one day we're gonna actually like review that movie from 2011. There's a sequel out. I saw both in theaters. So we're gonna discuss the Raid Redemption. Sorry about the wait, guys. We were watching Tyson Fury and the Conor Benn fights on Netflix. So weigh in the chat if you guys got to catch those. UFC tonight. So Gaz and I will probably drop a couple predictions at the end of the show here. There's also BKFC Honolulu, which I think is their first time out there in Hawaii. So that's kind of fresh too. If I'm not mistaken, try to fix that. If I'm not mistaken, Gaz, Patolo is the main event, and I believe he's UFC alumni, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna. Do you have any other shouts, Gazzy, before we roll on with some ads?
There's no one alive. Been waiting 10 years. You bitch.
R.I.P. Ricky Hatton. R.I.P. Ricky Hatton.
Yeah.
You guys are all dossers. It's a Fury show today. So, and we haven't mentioned the epic Beauty and the Beast Misfits boxing event of Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall, but we probably won't mention that. Lock in.
Welcome, everyone. I'll just take a quick water break. What Bruce Buffy should have done, but anyway.
Yeah, no. Buff wasn't looking too good, man. Hopefully everything's cool. If he's just hoarse from the spring here, it was we're kind of breaking out of our winter. Camera X out now on Tubi. Go check that out. Like it on your watch list. Give it a watch. Appreciate you leaving some comments on the Patreon, Pixie, and you guys can go pop on over to my Patreon. Me and Gazzy will eventually be doing some Most Dangerous Game. I'll eventually be doing Deadliest Prey. Wait, what it's called? Yeah, Deadliest Prey, the Deadly Prey sequel, and as well as probably the 2022 Most Dangerous Game adaptation. There's also that one that that Bisping promoted, Gaz. I don't know if it's out yet, but I forgot what the name of that is. It's another like MMA Most Dangerous Game type of movie Michael Bisping's in. Skate to Hell DVD's out now. Go check it out on Amazon. You can stream it on Prime, and you can get the DVD there. And The Thing expanded. I think the orders are maybe donezo, but it will probably come out in some sort of fashion with the final release date. I don't know if that's the end. I think it's next month is what they're saying, but yeah, I gotta submit something for that too, so I can try to get into the credit sequence like I was on Skate to the Hell. The Crow Days of Sodom final trailer is out now. Go subscribe to Wet Paint Pictures, and they just dropped in another exclusive scene yesterday, Roman's funeral. So go drop some likes over there and hype those up. And then that full video drops on their YouTube April 24th. So get ready for that, guys. Gaz and I don't have a pick for next week, so we dropped a poll. If you guys want to mosey on over to the post section and drop whether we should do... It doesn't look like Normal is going to be out in the UK, so we're probably going to push that. But did you get any info on that, guys? In the meantime, do you guys want to do a Chuck Norris film? Rest in peace. And if so, what film? Missing in Action, Delta Force, The Octagon...
It's out next week, bro. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. We'll figure it out. We got some alternates, and then we also have 300 OG 2006. So another PXF classic. So that's an open slot next week, guys. I am going to check Normal at some point, but we'll obviously need it to release in Gaz's country so he can watch it as well. And we'll figure that out. And then where's my what's our now forgotten what our last of the month is, Gazzy. I don't have the schedule in front of me. No Escape, April 25th. That should be sick. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta. Me and Gaz are both pretty big on the No Escape fanboyism. So, Pixie, have you watched the Raid Redemption? And we will get that trailer posted for you guys. If it's not already in the description, can't remember if it is there or not. I'm going to kick us off.
If she hasn't, she can go live in the woods with John. Living in the woods!
Eat dirt. Man with a fighting man! Okay, so we will go over to IMDb for synopsis. Norris is him. Okay, we got another Norris vote from Pixie. What's your favorite Norris? All right. The Raid Redemption, 2011. A SWAT team becomes trapped inside a tenement run by a ruthless mobster and his army of killers and thugs. I actually did watch this one on Pluto TV, Gazzy.
Nice.
Genres: gun fu, martial arts, one-person army action, psychological thriller, action, crime thriller, written, directed by Gareth Evans. Iko Uwais, kind of, not his first appearance, that was Moran 2, but this is probably his, like, next big movie, after that. Then a bunch of obviously Ray Sahatepi, who was Tama, Joe Taslim, Jaka, who I thought was a fresh character, guys.
Yeah.
Yasin Yayin Ruhian, I think he helped Iko with the choreography, but he's Mad Dog, but he's also that evil Sifu that we saw in Boy Meets World, Meets World, guys. And he's also in John Wick 3, and then I think the other dude with him in John Wick 3 was also from the raid.
He's in another movie about some secret ninja assassins, something Shadows or something like that, I think it is. I may have that completely wrong, but it's fairly recent. It's not bad.
Sounds pretty fresh. And then obviously Gareth Evans directed Havoc, which we reviewed on this channel. But anyway, if you guys haven't seen this movie, I definitely advise it. Basically the big things like around when me and Gaz got deep into this stuff was obviously like Ong Bak, the Protector, and this. But this put the Indonesian Salat style on the map, the way that Ong Bak and the Protector put Muay Thai on the on the big screen.
Yeah.
Obviously all the styles were on the map, but on the big screen map. And then there's just Gareth Evans is a bit of a hybrid director because he's got the action style and the heavy weapons. So rifles, pistols, some machetes that me and Gaz will get into, and then just a completely destructible environment. So really, up in the ante on the kind of special effects and the stunts, guys. That's kind of my read on it. What up, Brian? If you haven't seen The Raid Redemption, man, check out the trailer. Yeah, I think you would like it. It's a pretty hardcore film. But anything else, Gazzy, before we get into Wiki and anything else you might have on the legacy of the raid? We've been talking about this movie for a long time.
Just and this really is clutching at straws. There is a slow build up. I watch all of these kinds of movies all the time. It's kind of my thing. Not that Ross doesn't either. So there is a patient build up, but it is worth it because once the action happens, and the good thing is that goes back to some world building, character dynamics as well before we go to the next action scene. But oh boy, they are worth waiting for. So just those first 30 minutes, just be patient. It does pop off.
Yeah, I still thought I don't know if this is maybe my fourth or fifth watch. I've definitely seen it a few times. I've only seen two. I think maybe 2 or 3 times, but and I know I'm like the critic on this, guys, but I much prefer this to 2. I just thought that like once you're introduced to the action style of the raid, it was really hard to match that in a sequel. Not to say Gareth Evans did anything wrong in 2, and I know you like some of those big fights, which are like reminiscent of the old school kung fu movies. And there's definitely sequences in there, but I just think that the impact of 1. Kind of much like the Protector, much like Ong Bak did with the stunts. Tony Jaa was the first one to put us on with kind of the free running and the Russian climbing, the parkour. I know obviously we had District B13 of Brick Mansions, but to tie it all together, Tony had the parkour and the stunts. This really added the weapons in a way that kind of we've never seen before at the time. I wouldn't even call this criticism, but like Gaz said, clutching at straws is the fact that when I recall seeing this movie in the theater, I had this like, clear picture in my mind of this kind of HD, whatever it was. I assumed that 2006 or 2011 rather was before 4K. So it's not like as clear as any of the modern Ultra Discs or the modern IMAX cameras and stuff, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like a lot like how we were talking about how The Hunted, even though it was 2003, kind of had that 90s retro feel in terms of how the grainy camera look. That's how the raid I was watching it on a kind of a low quality streaming platform, so I don't know how much that hurt the render as opposed to if Gaz had a Blu-ray or a DVD. But at the same time, and I wouldn't say that that's a detractor from the film, because if you came up watching the kind of, Bruce Lee, obviously, Jackie Chan, a lot of these movies were those early errors that, Chan, I remember I was watching those all on VHS back in the day, guys. I'm sure you're not far off, if you guys were renting them at the store or whatever. If for the back when me and Gaz used to go into our dinosaur machines and rent VHS at the movie rental store. But yeah, you got to say that for YouTube nowadays because they're like, "What's a VHS?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think if you're a legacy, I guess where that rant's going, if you're a legacy martial arts film, The Raid kind of still gives you that, even though it's a new school film. It doesn't have like a super polished, big studio, Marvel color corrected CGI look to it. You know what I mean? So
a lot of them are like that. They still are, and sometimes you can get even lower budget movies where, for example, you'll see the dirt hit the camera, you'll see some of the the effects for a blood spray, something it's not being edited out. That happens even, and there's always, and this is what I love about them as well. There's always a fight in all of these kind of movies. It's essentially like soccer hooligans with some weapons and martial arts skills, because there's always like an army of like this never-ending 50 billion guys, and it's great for entertainment. I feel with this that they took the action from the first one, Ross, added in the gung fu from Equilibrium, which we will get round to covering one day for you folks. Took that gung fu element, really amped that up, and the same. I thought he gave us a hint for what we saw little in Havoc. The car chase scene that was set up, and I really feel like the guy could. I'll say it like this, and this is more your thing than mine as well. It's not that I don't like any of these movies either. You could have even done that. Those car scenes. Imagine like Evans doing a heist movie with that, bro, and then putting some of those action scenes with that. that would be pretty fire, man. So. That's the best way I can describe The Raid 2 is like take the quality of the action scenes from the first one, expand it out there into the real world as well. There is still a lot of the confined space settings, obviously. Bring in the various mobs, the Yakuza, for example. You've got the Chinese in there, the Indonesians, obviously. So that's pretty much what I feel it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's we'll be coming up to 2 later, but let's try to hone in on one here. So just go with the beginning of Wiki, guys. Raid Redemption is in the US is a 2011 Indonesian action thriller written, edited, and directed by Welsh filmmaker Gareth Evans. Film stars Iko Uwais, Joe Taslim, Donnie Alamzia, Ray Satapi, and Yahya and Ruhian. The story follows an Indonesian National Police tactical squad that is deployed to raid a ruthless drug lord's apartment block in the slums of Jakarta, only to be encircled by the criminals, forcing them to fight their way through the complex. Before I go through the rest of it, guys, it's probably a better conversation for the end, but I want to bring up, I'm sure you and I talked about this before, how people said that was that Dread 3D that was in the big building block, and people said that was so similar to the Raid. Now, the story is, what of JSV, that Dread was had already been shot before. Like, I think they came out very close to each other. So I don't really think either one was biting off each other. I mean, Gaz and I and Mac, we're all big Dread universe fans, but movie to movie, I think it's not even close. I think the Raid Redemption is thousands of times the movie that Dread is. Not this Dread is bad. I thought they got the city right, and I like Carl Urban. I just didn't like anything else about it for the Dread universe. You know what I mean? Whereas, Raid is like, you have, I mean, we're a Western audience, right? And you still have like 3 or 4, like Andy is sick. Rama is awesome. Jaka is fresh. The other guy ends up being kind of like the kind of double, I don't want to say double agent, but like he's like there's some questions about his loyalty, that sergeant dude. And then what's his name, Tama, he's like an amazing villain. Obviously Mad Dog is a very sick villain. He's like the kind of like head of security, if you will, for this criminal organization. So with Dredd, I just felt like you didn't get that. Like, Dredd was really good. You just didn't care about any of the other judges with him. And the villains were like subpar as well. You know what I mean? I don't know if you had that same impression.
The same. I mean, because it's been so long since I've seen Dredd, but the other judge who's with him, who has kind of the psychic powers, I think possibly Judge Anderson, maybe. And I know in the graphic novel she's a decent character, but that didn't quite come over in that movie. And
flat in the film.
I thought with Dredd, the opening 10 minutes, you saw him on his bike go into the apartment block, kind of like what you see with the Raid. That was good. And then I know Mac, I remember us reviewing it years ago on our other show, long before YouTube. and Mac really liked it, and I didn't. I was like, nah, man, it just fell off, and I'm more for the Raid. And I've just realised I've done a total PXM fail. I keep flashing the Raid 2 instead of the first one.
At least they can
I
see
forgot.
one of the series. It really doesn't matter.
Oh, well, this is what the sequel looks like, anyway.
Well, that's Gaz's transition into when we do Raid 2. Do you have a hard copy of both, or is that's the only one you got?
I do, yeah. But I'll get it another time. I'll have to rummage and get it. But yeah, I do. Yeah.
At the bottom of the pile, at the bottom of Gaz's
pretty much, yeah. Stuff it.
Yeah, I mean, Iko is still the main character in that one, right?
He is, yeah, and it's got
so they can still see the lead, you know.
Yeah, Yahin Ruyan is in it again as well. He has some pretty powerful scenes too.
Which is interesting because I'm not sure that he would have survived that final fight in Raid 1.
Yeah. I just realized because then I started to talk about the Raid 2 and I'm just like, fail. It's just because we're on a high from the boxing. So that's what I'm going with.
Switch gears, guys, because if you saw that argument at the end of that Fury fight, you would have been dying.
I'm the boss.
Yeah, you're the boss.
Work for me.
Yeah, that was awesome. After its world premiere at Toronto International Film Festival, TIFF, the Raid received positive reviews from critics who praised its cinematography, soundtrack, and action sequences. We'll definitely have Gazzy do the soundtrack commentary since he's our music guy. The subtitle Redemption was added to the U.S. as distributor Sony Pictures Classics could not secure the rights to the title. Like, I don't understand when things like that happen. Like, the big deal is we can't call the movie The Raid in the U.S., so we got to call it The Raid Redemption. It's like, I always wondered where the Redemption came. So I wonder if you have a UK copy, if yours even says that on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll have to actually look and
you have to verify that because but who knows? I mean, you can buy Blu-rays and DVDs in any zone, but it's always when the US has some dumb stipulation that the rest of the world has. I'm just like, why does this stuff happen? No, I think The Raid Redemption is a good title, though. I'm not against it. Could not secure the title. It also allowed Evans to plan out future titles in the series. An American version of the film released on DVD and Blu-ray 14 August 2012 features a film score composed by Mike Shinoda and Joseph Trapanese. A sequel titled The Raid 2 was released in 2014. Both films showcase the traditional Indonesian martial art of Pencak Silat with a fight choreography led by Uwais and Ruhian. A third film was considered, but the project was canceled. An American remake is in development. That's Gaz's cue. It's going to piss him off.
It's going to raid my mind, man. It's like, we'll raid the creativity of others and we'll get this.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm not even going to voice how I think that could be because then I could unintentionally will that aspect of that horrible remake to fruition, man.
They've talked about it forever, and I remember at one point me and Gaz were talking about it. They were talking like a Scott Adkins thing, and obviously we're Scott Adkins fans, so I wanted to see where that goes. But it would really take a Chad Stahelski level director, and honestly, that guy has no reason to do that because John Wick unless he's totally done making Wick movies and he's I'm bored. But then he's got Highlander now, so it seems like he's taking on franchises. So it's why would that guy go do this? There's a few other directors who could, but just not many that I would trust.
And he may have something in development we don't know about.
I'm sure
possibly even something with 40K. Okay, I know 40K has been in the headlines now for other reasons, but Cavill's supposed to have that show in development. I don't know the latest on that.
I don't think that's a Stelsky thing, but if Cavill can pull Stelsky into that,
that's what I was thinking.
Get your shit in pants on, as Negan in Walking Dead says, because you're gonna shit your pants. Let's do some plot. So I kind of just watched the first hour on cruise control, guys, because honestly, even though I've seen the movie several times, it'd been quite a while for me. I don't know how recently you've watched it.
Same.
So I did see it in the theater when it released, as I said. So we can kind of break down some of the plot elements, some of my shot notes, and then I kind of started taking notes towards the second end. There's really, as Gaz said, there's kind of the warm up. Then they get inside. There's basically maybe 4 or 5 big fight sequences, I would say, and the rest of the movie is kind of just paced on that big fight through the floors.
The warm up is vital, though, folks. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I also want to talk about the acting in Iko's character Rama, because I had forgotten a lot about that stuff about his wife and showing had some flashbacks to his wife when he was in the fights and stuff. And I feel like me and Gaz are always the ones saying that, but like he really did a good job at acting, just like Tony Shaw did in that last striking Justice, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, that was good.
You know, but even though it's like a martial arts acting movie, guys, like they're still actors. They still have some good sequences where they are getting the performance across, which I think helps move the plot. You know, because if it's just some guy god moding through a building, there's not really any, you don't have any attachment to him or his character. You know what I mean? So like it provides that kind of story arc, I guess.
Yeah, even so with the head villain. Who's Tama, who's dishing out the orders on the microphone system. As the film progresses, you kind of hear that frustration, like somebody stop this guy, and he's got a good sinister presence because it's quite cleanly delivered in parts as well.
Yeah, and you can clearly see he's a psychopath. Like he has no problem like ordering the death of police and just like figuring, hey, if we kill everybody, we can get him out of here. But I do want to say, like, I think this is the best like trapped in a building like action movie. If I suppose there's a few others, Dread being the one that gets compared to this, but like I said, I don't think anything hit the notes on this. Shout out to everybody who just tuned in, guys. If you have any questions or any commentary on the raid, feel free to drop in the chat. We always take recommendations in the comments below in the live chat. So let's get into some plot, Gazzy. We're like Rama, a rookie NBC officer, joins a 20-man squad led by Sergeant Jaka and Lieutenant Wayahu for a raid on an apartment block with intent of arresting Tama Riyadi, a crime lord. Together with his lieutenants, Andy and Mad Dog, Tama runs the block and allows criminals and addicts to rent rooms under his protection. Arriving undetected, the team sweeps the first floor and subdues various tenants. They also meet a law-abiding tenant, Gofar, delivering medicine to his sick wife. Continuing up to the 6th floor, the team is spotted by 2 young lookouts, one of whom raises the alarm after the other is shot. Tama calls in reinforcements, including a pair of snipers who pick off the officers guarding the block's exterior and a group of gunmen who destroy their SWAT vehicle. Taking advantage of the chaos outside, Tama's men set themselves free and regain control of the first 5 floors. Tama cuts the lights and announces over the PA system that the rest of the officers are on the 6th floor stairwell and that he will grant free permanent residence to those who killed him. Wahahu confesses to Jaka that he staged the mission to eliminate Tama, who is in league with corrupt police officials. And the corruption was crazy, guys. That reminds me a bit of Elite Squad. Have you seen both of those?
Yeah. Those are classics.
The enemy of within, which is like the corruption. So I assume that like Evans is, also saw a lot of like John Woo influence. I know we were saying that about like Havoc, but because of the 2 brothers, isn't there a John Woo? What up, Beckman? Isn't there a John Woo movie where the 2 dudes? I forgot which one is that. Is that A Better Tomorrow? Or I forgot when they're in the hospital at the end. I think the two dudes in that movie are brothers. So it's like similar to this raid concept. It's like obviously John Woo. Hey, if anybody knows the John Woo stuff, drop that in the chat. I spaced on what it was. It's not The Killer, which I did just see the 4K release in the theater, guys. Crazy.
Dude, I've got to see that and absolutely soil my pants. Dude,
I missed Hard Boiled, so I went to that, and I'd forgot about how good Chun Yao's performance was, and all that character building for his character and the singer.
Dude, those move. Dude, we'll have to get them on the list as well, like God of Gamblers and all of them as well.
Yeah, we haven't done a John Woo yet, have we? We did the new one he did when the dude got shot in the throat, right? Was that Silent whatever? So we've only done one John Woo movie, and it was a new one. We definitely need to do some of his legacy stuff. Anyway, include a league with corrupt officials, including himself. So I missed Wayahu, unless he was the gray-haired dude. The mission is not officially sanctioned by the police command, and there will be no reinforcements. The remaining team members are ambushed by gunmen from above and almost completely wiped out. Okay, that scene when they blow the dudes away from the stairs above is crazy. There's definitely some good looking like practical effects with the shooting up the background behind the guys are standing there and stuff. I think this is where that whole intro through the first 5 floors is crazy. Certainly some crazy stuff happens, but I think that's where it really picks up the action,
and just to come back on the acting as well, the residents, I feel they really shows the audience that fear they have, the fear that they have of Tama
How he controls the gang, yeah.
Yeah, and how he controls them, because obviously they are reluctant to let, Iko in, and that I thought was very well executed.
Yeah, I mean, it gave you that realism. I mean, being
Yeah.
from the States and Gazfer being out there, we don't really know how things are done in an Indonesian tenement building, but the way
Yeah.
everything played out, it looked realistic to the up until they come through the bottom. Obviously, they stealth their way in, which I think works. The dude does shoot that lookout in the throw, guys. That's like a slow-mo bullet shot through the door. That's I think Dredd has like a slow-mo shot in the Dredd 3D movie with one bullet, which is like similar to that. And Gaz and I can break down. I thought that sniper sequence was really good, Gaz. Really clever, putting the two guys on top with the two rifles, which you assume like another thing, like we were saying with the weaponry too. It's like, as much as me and Gaz love hand-to-hand combat, traditional kung fu movies, because the hand-to-hand is so interesting, and the combos and the choreography. But when you pull up on a modern day gang, they don't just drop all their rifles. Like, hey, let's fight the SWAT team hand-to-hand like that. That's just not a thing that happens in modern timeline. So like the fact that they all pulled up strapped, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it gave it that seemingly realism.
Yeah. So. And that has been happening in Eastern action movies for a long time. It's just with them starting to, thanks to The Raid and some others, notably getting on to Western audiences on the big screen. They're seeing that, but they've done a good. They've done good examples of showing you, Ross, the use of weapons, how to use that with fighting styles, even on some military kind of more war movies mixed with a bit of that as well.
Hell yeah. I just want to ask the chat, are our vocal levels good? You guys can hear us good? We'll throw that in the chat for you guys. We can break down a couple things that happened there, guys. I don't want to do too crazy because these big 4 fights are like the big crazy stuff, right?
I know. You don't get any arguments from me, man. So.
Like,
no, I'll sit here all day.
I like when they start going through the floor. So they take, I think that's a sledgehammer. They go sledge through the floor. They get down to that next floor when they kind of get rushed. Definitely some realism stuff there. How the next guy jumps down and then pulls the dude got. So I think that was Jaka who went down first. They pulled the dudes off of him. The last guy had like a combo on Jaka. He blocked it and then he drew the pistol on it. And he like close range headshotted him with the pistol like that. Again, no cutaways for like the face shot executions, guys, because that's how Gareth Evans directs. So it's like, it's hard R. If that's a problem for you, if you haven't picked it up through 30 minutes of the review, Raid Redemption's not the movie for you if you don't want hard R. There is I think it's that knife sequence in the meth factory, guys, that I'm going to call out semi blooper on. But other than that, you know what I mean? It's pretty flawless. So he pulls, is that the propane tank out of the under the sink or whatever, and Rama throws it in the fridge, and they turn it around on the front door when the dude shoot through it. That's the fridge explosion that blows out that wall. That I think sucked power, so it went up to Tama, and he's like, "What was that?" And Mad Dog's like, I think we only lost 2 rooms. And he's like, yeah, that's not bad. Explosion went off in your building, dude. And it just, like, everybody's like nonchalant, like reactions, like Gaz was saying, it's like, gave it that realistic crime. Like, oh yeah, this happens all the time in this building. No.
Yeah, normalized for them, isn't it?
Pretty epic. So I believe he calls in the machete gang, guys, where they come flying in with those blades. Let's see, where did I leave off on get ambushed from the gunman. Yeah, the remaining officers, Rama, Bawo, Jaka, Wahayu, Dagu, Ali, and Hangi, and another officer retreat to an empty apartment or cornered by more armed thugs. Rama uses an axe to create a hole in the floor. It was an axe that it was so the team could descend to the lower level. Dropping the room below, this team struggles to fend off Tama's thugs. Ali, Hangi, and the unarmed officer are killed, and Bowo is gravely wounded. Rama uses a propane tank and a refrigerator to construct an improvised explosive device that kills the invading henchmen. With more of Tama's reinforcement approaching, the team splits into 2 groups. Jaka, Dagu, and Wahayu retreat to the 5th floor, while Rama and Bowo ascend. After fighting a group of assassins, Rama and Bowo locate Gofar's apartment, and Gofar reluctantly hides the officers inside. This is the machete gang. The gangs wielding machetes search the apartment, cannot find them. After tending to Bowo's words, Rama leaves to search for Jaka's group. Rama encounters the machete gang and defeats them in a long fight, tackling their leader through a window. and plummeting to a fire escape below. I think it's that fight. That fall is crazy stunt for one, and I think it's that fight when he takes the dude and does that backwards jump and slams his throat into the broken door, because I think that was the door that got blown up right with the explosion.
Yeah.
So that crazy kill, some very graphic grindhouse kills, guys. And then of course the choreography. I think what the raid changed was like really clean throws and that Pensat slot style, really clean kicks. Some use of elbows and knees, like what you see with the Tony Jaa Muay Thai movies, but just really clean directing. I think it's this fight when he's fighting a machete dude and they have that kind of claustrophobic hallway, and Evans gets that top-down aerial shot of like it, because he does a great job of, even in an enclosed space, throwing an angle at you that you wouldn't think of, and then showing you the fight from the top down. He does that a couple times. Really good angles and directing there, guys. I would almost say that's like Kurosawa-esque, dare I say.
Yeah, those long, clear shots as well that we see that are prominent throughout the movie that help provide us that gritty realism, especially when the action increases in pace, in close quarters as well. So, you've got kind of that violent dance, and I don't mean that in a patronizing sense. So I just feel it really supported that. And it's, to say there's some of the scenes of visceral Ross is obviously an understatement, and it's presented well for the audience to see. We can actually see this unfolding. It's excellent.
It's mostly the fight choreography, as guys was saying. I mean, when he has these long fights, especially with the machete gang, because when he gets into that fight, he's unarmed, so he has to go all dodges to not get hit by those blades, and then what would you call that? Like parry or disarm, grab their knife hand and try to slam it against the wall to get them to drop it. So just really creative there. Something annoying was on my screen. And then I guess we're coming up to the Jaka and the Mad Dog fight. I think that comes up pretty soon here. He falls out there. On the 6th floor, Rama finds Andy, who has murdered two of Tama's men, is revealed to be Rama's estranged brother. So Andy has the two dudes in the elevator, and he pulls out the knife, and then he kills both of those guys. Andy turns out to be sick too. I thought he was a really interesting character, being like a bad guy, but still willing to kill the underlings and help his brother, obviously, because he doesn't want his brother to die. Like I said, a bit of a John Woo-esque with the brothers dynamic there. Rama actually signed up for the mission to search for Andy at the urging of their father. Rama refuses to leave the building without his comrades, and Andy refuses to abandon his criminal life. Rama parts ways with his brother to search for his surviving colleagues. Mad Dog discovers Jaka and his group on the 4th floor. Wahoo runs off, and Jaka instructs Dagu to protect him. Mad Dog challenges Jaka to hand-to-hand combat. Mad Dog ultimately gains the upper hand and kills Jaka by breaking his neck. Really good fight. I know I want to get Gaz to weigh in on this. I know that Mad Dog is built up to be like the best martial artist in the movie, maybe next to Rama. They're kind of the big rivalry there. And then like Andy's also very good as well, but he catches an injury. Jaka is obviously way bigger than Mad Dog. Gaz, did you have a problem with him losing the size advantage, or were you just like, I know it's not a big problem plot wise, because Mad Dog's so fast, he obviously has speed.
That's the well, you literally took it. I think they were emphasizing, if he didn't have the speed, if they weren't going to emphasize that, then you could say, well, unless he could say, for example, target pinpoint one area but this gets into speed very quickly and effectively to disable him or take him out. So he would need the speed and precision to do that. They could have been done in a way, if they weren't going to show the constant speed Ross, or the more like in a forgive me folks, it's because I'm amped from the boxing, the BJJ short sharp bursts, target that area, take it out. So I could have still got it written that way, but I think that's what they did. They emphasized the speed, but without that, I'd have been a little like you thinking, not so sure here.
The only thing you could say is like a bigger guy is going to have his energy fade faster. So Jaka's already been through the fights, right? He's been fighting his way through. And I think Mad Dog didn't have to fight anybody. So you can make the argument that like a fresh guy versus like a tired guy, a bigger guy, he's, so Rama's been Jaka has been through the fights. And then I can't remember if he got injured as well. I think he did. That's or coming up to that when they were hiding in the. Congratulations, Pixie. Appreciate you. Fury, no man alive can defeat my son. Another Fury victory for.
Come on, you shit house. I've been chasing you for 10 years.
I wonder if Tyson, the big Dosser, is going to get John a dirt cake, guys, some mud pies. So now that I recall, guys, I think the reason why Rama had Jaka in that room when Gofar hit him in that back room was like he had an injury. So I think that was part of it is like he was kind of gassed out from fighting. He was already injured and Mad Dog's fresh. So like you said, with the speed. But I was kind of thinking like I feel like if Jaka powered up and just rocked Mad Dog's jog, he would have went to sleep. You know what I mean? So Mad Dog gains the upper hand, breaks his neck. He then meets with Andy to report back to Tama. Tama, having learned of Andy's treachery through his surveillance cameras, attacks and incapacitates Andy. Rama regroups with Dagu and Wahayu, and they head for Tama on the 15th floor, fighting through a narcotics lab along the way. Okay. The narcotics lab, I think the two best fights, guys, are the narcotics lab, the meth factory, and that last fight with Andy, Mad Dog, and Rama. Just a guess. I mean, there's a lot of good fights, so it's really hard to say.
Yeah, and everybody always talks about that fight with Mad Dog as being, a lot of people have that as their actual favorite fight from the whole movie, and I can see why. There's an excellent shot in that fight, Ross, when the camera pans out. You see Mad Dog facing off against them. That's really excellent. The use of it's just got that such a gritty, the gritty environment in the background. You can definitely see it. It just reminds me of that game Sifu, where there's a lot of those very close, gritty hallway fights in that game. So yeah, for definite, it's pretty much the same as you. But I think the fight with Mad Dog is my favorite from it for sure. Everyone else,
yeah, the three-way fight. I mean, it's a bit of a
pretty incredible.
I call it like a good, the bad, the ugly, because three dudes face off from three different directions. That's a bit how the Mad Dog Andy and Rama fight is. But I want to take it back to the narcotics lab, because when they run in there, like they completely like go crazy on that place. They're just like, they trash everything. They break all the, like that one dude smashes dude with the chair. I like how they use the file cabinets. They're like slamming dudes face first in the file cabinets and like kicking them. The falls are really good. Like the stuntmen in that meth factory are sick, because when Rama kicks out their leg, sweeps the leg, and they do that kind of like backflip, the dude will fall right on his back on the table, and then like you'll see the dude like holding his back, like reacting to it. So like the stuntmen really sold like the hard falls, falling on the metal, falling on the file cabinets, and getting messed up. So
yeah, and it's done well without doing a break fall as well. This is not a guy falling back going, look, I really fell.
I'm dead. Like they really, they're spinning out of control and then landing right on their hip. And, so I don't know how they cheat. They must've had pads on the stuntmen to cheat those falls. My one criticism of the film, it's an amazing sequence. Don't get me wrong. When he disarms the dude for the knife, and then I think Rama's fighting like 2 or 3, he's cutting like Achilles, and he's like doing almost like the Hunted with those 5-6 power strikes of death. But he grabs a guy and he slices their neck, dude. It's because I've seen the film so many times. There's no blood on any of those knife strikes, which Gaz and I know. Yeah. When you're cutting a neck and there's a carotid artery, it's okay. Yeah. It looks amazing. The choreography is really good. The fights are amazing, but I think Gareth should have probably found a way to just add it, because like with the knife, it's gonna come out. The blade is not even bloody.
That is corrected in the sequel, folks. There's several scenes with knives. I mean, famously, the second one's known for Hammer Girl. Is it Julia Estelle, I think? When she's taken out, spoiler alert, they do show obviously the blood, and so that is corrected.
Probably
first watch. First watch, because you're so enthralled and it's so entertaining, you overlook it. But then we're like us, when you've seen it several times. Now I'm the same as you. Every time that scene happens, I notice it.
Yeah. Now the fight is crazy. I love the
I'm taking nothing away from it.
The meth tables, the lab tables, they're like the powder spraying when they slam dudes' faces. I like that. think that's the sergeant. I don't know if that's Wahyu or whatever, dude, who was like slamming the dude's face in the meth. That was crazy. But yeah, that fight, I remember like, so I remember when this trailer came out back in the day, and there was those circular lights in the hallway, and the end of the trailer was Rama Iko taking that dude's face and slamming it into the 3 parts of the wall.
I remember.
Face on the light. Yeah, so I was like, you knew this movie was going to be crazy, and like, but how the ante gets what's the word, like the intensity increases, from the machete fight, from the hallway fights to the meth factory to this fight. It's ultimately the Andy torture scene when Rama walks in and obviously Mad Dog used him because Tama showed him they were brothers on the camera, so he used him to draw out Rama.
Yeah, and you're right, and that's the key point there in Up in the Ante 1000% when that happens, and then how they have to work together to overcome Mad Dog. Kind of a better version of what we saw in one of the earlier Highlander movies, I shall say, with Connor and Duncan. But anyway, forgetting that, folks. Trust me, you don't want to.
I love Highlander. Go check out our Highlander 1 review, 1986 classic film. Rama separates from Dagu and Wahyu when he discovers Mad Dog torturing Andy. Mad Dog lets Rama free Andy and fights him after a brutal fight. Rama and Andy, I'm not so sure about that because Mad Dog played a different character in 2, right? Was he still Mad Dog?
In 2 he's a different character. In 2, folks, spoiler alert, he's essentially like an assassin hitman who's working to provide for his wife and kid, and he has some really good moments in that movie too. Yeah,
the actor is insane, like me and Gaz said. Obviously,
he's excellent.
Boy Kills World was probably my movie of the year that year. The John Wick 3 fight, I didn't think 3 was like the best Wick, but that fight was definitely the best fight in the movie with the 2 raid guys at the end in the museum or whatever that was. So spoiler, this is a 2011 film. Sorry guys, but we really do give you plenty of time to watch these before we review them. At least our audience. After a brutal fight, Rama and Andy kill Mad Dog, but I want to break it down like Gaz was saying. So he gives them a chance to win, because even though Andy's Tama stabbed Andy's hand and Rama wraps it for him, he has them spread out and he steps between them, which even though Mad Dog is obviously insane and crazy, he gives them the chance for a fair fight, even though one of the guys is wounded. 1-on-2 is still, so the fight choreography in that fight is crazy.
Yeah, the thing is, even though it's insanely brutal and violent, there still is that modicum of kind of we'll show a little bit of tradition and honor. You see that in the second one in the kind of reminds me of the fight with Mad Dog, and I know that Ruyan is in the sequel. But there's a fight in the second movie, folks, in a kitchen, which as the start they go into the face off in opposite stances. So in all this violence, there's still show a little bit of that, and that's interesting.
The fight probably.
Yeah, it's interesting that even though he's a villain, he's recognizing, right, I've not just got the average sea officer coming for me, I've got a skilled opponent. So that's,
and he knows they're brothers. So he's like, I'm gonna, they're defending their family, so he's like, I'm gonna let them fight me together. So it's like very, very good scene. You really have to watch it to see how crazy it gets. So he had him on a chain crank, and then he raised it while Rama was wrapping his hand. Okay, so I'll say what Wikipedia says. Mad Dog does not survive this fight, guys. It's 1-on-2, but it's probably the most grindhouse, grimy fight in the film. Remind me how the light breaks, Gaz. Is it because Mad Dog flips Rama and his boot comes up and it kicks the light? Is that I know he kicked it at the end of the scene, but I don't know if that's what broke
now we've got me thinking
the fluorescent, right? Either that or someone hit the light in the fight.
I think so, but the shot on the camera quickly as well. There's no, I can't remember. There's no intentional, I'm going to jump up and front kick the light or anything like that.
No, I know Mad Dog flips him, so his foot swings up, but I just don't know if that's what actually broke the bulb. You see what I'm saying? I know he kicked that light.
Oh yeah, no, that it's that. I
It
think
be,
so, but
the camera did the aerial shot.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% though, so I don't want to.
Anyway, if somebody else watched it, feel free to point out that fight. But the fluorescent bulb breaks on the ground, and I think it's he gets Andy pinned, and he's ground and pounding him. And then I can't remember if that's Rama who comes and stabs him with the broken bulb from the side, or if that's Andy who does it. Either way, Mad Dog is fighting with the broken on some Nick Gage. What do you guys? ECW. What's that new league? Gorilla guys? Is it? Gorilla?
Oh, GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. Yeah.
So it's basically like that, and the dude is fighting with the broken fluorescent light bulb stuck out of his neck. And then I think that is Rama who grabs it and takes it and cuts the artery.
You're right, Ross. It is when he's flipped. It's smashed when it is flipped.
Yeah, really good camera angle of his boot kicking the light, so it breaks on the ground.
Yeah, and then it's used as a weapon, as we see.
It sticks in his neck. He's fighting them out, and then they grab it. I remember seeing that in the theater, dude, and like the crowd reactions were like, I don't know if we've ever seen something like that. The one good thing about Boston is that Lowe's Theater was right on the corner of Chinatown. So even though that was the big downtown theater, when the indie action kung fu movies would come, because it was right near Chinatown, they would still play them at the big theater. So that's why me and my boy Brandon saw The Raid.
And when I remember Ross, when this dropped, and I know we did cover it years ago on our old show, was we're used to watching these movies, we already have, but as we said, the wider Western audience, unless you consciously make a point of following this type of film, they hadn't seen anything like that, man. So they were all like, oh, this is amazing. And I remember saying, me, you and Mac at the time, like, going to be blown away. Seriously, it's amazing what they do. You're thinking the Hollywood, they do some good. It's like here they'll up the ante 1000%, which obviously Hollywood's been trying to replicate, arguably through John Wick, etc., which I'm not complaining about.
For sure, yeah, absolutely. I remember we've said that when we've covered Wick. So let's see here. Mad Dog fight. I know that other the double cross dude splits off at some. They kill Mad Dog. Spoiler. Meanwhile, Wahayu and Dagu confront Tama, and Wahayu kills Dagu before taking Tama hostage. So it was Wahayu who was the corrupt officer. So I like that scene too when they pull up on Tama. He says, "Did I do something wrong, officers?"
It's good dialogue.
You are a psycho crime lord that runs a all crime tenement.
Yeah.
And yes, you guys have been blowing things up and killing people all movie, but now he's going to ask. So, like I said, just some witty, dialogue from that dude. Really good.
I just can't help getting my man now, Ross. If I don't know how we're doing a remake. If you could just do I know somebody just to add in that scene, it could be Tyson Fury walks in and it's AJ saying, "I'm the boss, you work for me." No, I'm the boss.
Classic.
Anyway.
All right, so where are we at? So that's the double cross on Dagu. I actually forgot that happened because I haven't watched it so long. So when he shot him, I was like, damn, I forgot about that. That was crazy. Just like there are some crazy, Evans is really good with the twist. Like, even though it's a kung fu movie and a hardcore action grindhouse movie, like he still throws you those little curveballs, like Gaz was saying, where it will pop off really quick, and then just okay, now it's going to that, pivot.
Yeah, I think he's wanted to add those extra layers in, and also, I'm not. If it had just been a straight up action movie, right? I'm going to smash everyone throughout the film. Would I be happy? Of course I would. I'd still be here rating it highly because I watch those kind of things. It's my thing, but. I think to pull in the Western audience and also make it a little different from others from that genre is adding in those layers, those little nuances and subtleties.
For sure, yeah. That's you could even say that's like a little bit of Wu-esque, but there's probably other influences that he has in there. I would say Tama taunts Wahayu by revealing that he knew they were going to raid the building. Wahayu was set up by his corrupt superior Reza, and that he will be killed regardless of whether he escapes. A panicked and desperate Wahayu kills Tama and then attempts suicide, only to find he's out of bullets. So yeah, he walks him down to try to get a free pass out of the building, which is what Rama's plan was basically. Did you see that coming when he popped him? So you thought Wahyu would have probably killed him either way, like because he started threatening him with like you're gonna die anyway, crap. So I mean, it kind of got me because I thought, well, like he kind of needs him to get out. You know, how else is he gonna keep the gangs off of him? So you know what I mean? Like
true, but I think I think it establishes that was going to happen. Well, it's just how I kind of read it.
Yeah, I got it. Definitely, we both kind of had different approaches. So, you know, it's pretty badass. Obviously, he tries to kill himself, and he's out of like the revolver. So pretty cool. I mean, you've seen that in other movies, but still worked pretty damn good for this. Andy uses his influence to allow Rama to leave with Bowo and Wahyu. Andy also hands over blackmail recordings Tama made with the corrupt officials, telling him to contact Bunawar. Rama asks Andy to come home, but Andy refuses and asserts that he could protect Rama in the underworld, but Rama cannot do the same for him on the outside. As Rama, Boho, and Wahyu leave, Andy turns around and walks back to the apartment block smiling. Yeah, it's a pretty cool ending. I mean, for such a turbulent, obviously we'll get into soundtrack and stuff, really good music by Chino Moreno of the Deftones and Mike Shinoda.
Linkin Park.
So when Rama pulls off that Mad Dog execution, he does that 1, 2, 3 fast combo, guys. That's like a Wing Chun. He does like a Wing Chun combo to like dizzy him, and then he grabs that really good hand to hand there. I think there's a shot of Tama dying after Wahyu shoots him. That's basically all I got. I mean, the only thing I would say is because the ending is so the beginning is so intriguing when they pull up with their SWAT team. Like another thing I want to say is like as Gaz was saying, it almost starts out where you think it could be this like Gaz was kind of saying, not a heist, but almost like a Michael Mann style crime film.
Well, very much so.
We're going in, we're fully loaded. This is our briefing. So it's going to be like a cops, almost like a cops and not robbers, but cops and criminals thing. And then as they get inside, it becomes this kind of totally just like survival action film, but it's got elements of each kind of these crime genres, as Gaz was saying, which I think is really done. The only thing I would improve, Gaz, is a little bit more of a payoff of the ending, because like, why is Wahyu still around? And I don't know if they address any of this in 2. I don't think they do. And they said that Reza is still corrupt. Wouldn't you like to see Rama go back to his precinct because he's a rookie and like punch that guy in his face, or
pretty much
Dirty Harry Cripps shoot the chief?
It's a
kind of movie, but
I mean the approach both to the building and the end exiting with the weather, etc., really good, adds to the tone and everything. But yes, and I'm kind of like you, I'm clutching at straws here.
A little more,
Yeah, it's a little abrupt. It's just a little abrupt, and you don't quite get that payoff as you do with the second one.
Yeah, they did a better job with that in Havoc too. How he chased the dude down on the train. I felt like he knew, like, I need to stick the landing because now it's basically a flawless film, guys. I'm pretty much a 10, but it just because they're saying like, hey, there's all these other corrupt officials, and they stuck them there to die with the criminals with no backup, and then nothing happens to those superiors. It's kind of like circle jerk.
I'm the same as you. I'm a 10 on Raid 1. I'm a 10 on Raid 2. I mean, I'm going to say that, but it doesn't mean I'm going to say it's completely flawless. I'm not going to. I mean, I'm clutching. I'm grasping, but there are those few little areas. Yeah.
Very, very few, as we said. Pretty much a flawless soundtrack. So yeah, I thought Andy was a super solid character. I'm glad he lived. It really gave him that duality of like being on the underworld but having to protect his brother who's a cop, stuck that. So pretty cool.
It almost says in a sense as well, Ross, and I'm kind of going to contradict both of us here with what we've just said, but in a way it's as if you've read the end of a novel or a graphic novel, and the two brothers, one is going back to that dark underworld, the other is going back to I guess the normal world to an extent, and it's like, hey, my brother, I've protected you now, but this is where I'm from. I've got to go back here. This isn't for you. You've got to go back out there. Hope I don't see you again in a long time. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's because I care about you and want to protect you from this.
For sure. So we'll rip through some stuff, and Gazzy, you could grab some of these as well. Cast Iko Uwais as Rama, one of the rookie members of the Mobile Brigade Corps squad tasked with raiding Tama's building, one of the few survivors of the raid. Uwais was previously worked with Evans in Morantu, having lived for 4 years in Indonesia and learned about the country's predominant religion. Director Gareth Evans implicitly integrated the Muslim faith in Uwais' character. Joe Taslim as Jaka, the sergeant who leads his unit in the raid. Having been a fan of Morantu, the former judo champion Taslim contacted Evans through Facebook for their next project. As Evans was browsing through Taslim's profile, he came across of him in a photo in a SWAT uniform and felt that it resonated with the character.
Wow.
Evans had him undergo choreography and drama auditions, with Taslim earning the role, having aced them both. Yahya Ruhian as Mad Dog, a skilled fighter who's the muscle behind Tama's operation. Ruhian previously worked with Evans in Morantu as an actor and a fight choreographer. Evans cast Ruhian in the film as he wanted him to play a purely evil character opposite of that of which he played in his debut film, which had a redeemable value. Talk about Andy, and then we'll get out of here. Donnie Alasamia as Andy, Tama's consigliere, who's also Rama's estranged elder brother. Alasamia also played Uwais' character's brother in Morantu. Since he regretted not being able to do action scenes in Morantu, Alasamia approached Evans as they prepared for the raid, earning the role, having aced the audition. So pretty cool background there on some of the main stars, guys. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, even though this is a foreign Asian film, neither of me and Gaz speak these languages fluently. I still think there's way more to chew on character wise than there was in Dredd, which Urban nailed it. He's the man. But it's just like, if you only has his charisma to go off of for the entire movie, it's like you just have him facing these flat enemies and flat co-stars, like you said.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this now. I'm going to make people wet the pants. I'm going to put this out there. So, okay, if this could somehow happen, right, get Carl Urban out of that, what's probably going to be a travesty, but that poo. Get him out of that.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Get that Dredd movie that's supposed to be coming, for years. Working with Evans, Uko in that, where they could integrate a bit of those action scenes, heist scenes. A bit of the heist dynamic, but it's in the Dread City and Mega City one. Dude, that would be so sick.
I'm into that. You assume that Dread runs up against those kind of crimes, being a judge. Development and pre-production initially intended to be released as Serbuan Maut, which translates literally to the Deadly Raid. Director Gareth Evans came across the idea for the film when he moved to Indonesia to film a documentary about the country's martial art, Pencak Silat. As suggested by his wife of Indonesian Japanese descent, it was in that country that he met Iko Uwais, a Silat practitioner who was then working as a delivery man for a phone company based in Jakarta. Evans then nudged his wife to cast Uwais for Morantau and then in the raid. Following Morantau, Evans and his producers began work on a Silat film project called Berandal, Indonesian for Thugs, a large-scale prison gangster film intended to star not only Morantu actors Uwais and Yayan Ruhian, but also an additional pair of international fight stars. A teaser trailer was shot, but the project proved more complex and time-consuming than anticipated. I didn't know anything about this, guys. After a year and a half, Evans and the producers found themselves with insufficient funds to produce Berandal, so they changed the film to a simpler but different story with a smaller budget. They called the project Serbuan Maut, The Raid. Producer Ario Sargantoro considers the film to be lighter than Morantau. Evans also considers it to be a lot more streamlined, stating that Morantau is more of a drama, while The Raid is more of a survival horror film. Evans wanted The Raid vastly different from Morantau in terms of pacing, but Morantau, some fans complained the action sequences took too long to appear since the first 45 minutes of the film laid emphasis on character development, backdrop, specifically the Indonesian culture and drama. Therefore, Evans designed The Raid to be a full-on action film. Pre-production took about 4 months, which include the finalization of the script, which included the translation of the original English language script into Indonesian, and the work on choreography for the fighting sequences, which were designed by Iko Uwais and Yayan Ruhian. The actors that make up the key members of the police squad were sent to boot camp military training with Kopaska. Let's find out what that is. It's the premier frogman and underwater demolition unit of the Indonesian Navy, essentially.
Nice.
SEALs, where they learned how to use weapons and how to perform strategic attack and defense techniques. I was going to say it, on the way in with the stealth guys, it did seem very realistic with the military advisory. Yeah, absolutely, Pixie. I'll check it out. Everybody check out the link Pixie put on there. It has some of the background. I'm sure it's on the bonus features on the hard copies, Pixie, I would guess. Usually that stuff gets uploaded to YouTube. Filming, the crew wanted the raid to be shot in a quasi-documentary style. That is, the camera is handheld without the use of a Steadicam. To achieve the objective, they shot the film in high definition using the Panasonic AF100 camcorder, which had just recently come out of the market and strayed from using film format. While shooting most action and fight sequences, in addition, the camera was frequently attached to a fig rig to prevent most scenes from being too jarring and give the camera operator opportunities to change angles and positions rapidly. All guns used in the film were airsoft replicas to avoid the costs associated with having to deal with firearms. All the shots of the guns, actions, cycling, muzzle flashes, and cases ejecting were added digitally. That's pretty damn cool, guys.
Yeah.
You really can't tell. It looks pretty practical, in terms of a clean edit.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Editing. While the filming concluded, about 120 minutes of footage was shot. Evans originally intended it to be at 80 to 85 minutes long. The footage was eventually cut down to approximately 100 minutes. The final stages of post-production took place in Bangkok, Thailand for the color grading and audio mixing processes. You want to take soundtrack, guys?
Yeah, while the film was still in production in May 2011, Mike Shinoda, that's one of the co-founders of Linkin Park, and Joseph Trapanese were asked to create a new score for the American release. The film premiered at the 2011 Toronto International Film Festival with the original score from the Indonesian version, which was composed by Arya Here's where excellent language skills here. Arya Prayogi and Fajar Yaskamal, who also composed Evans' previous film Marantau. The raid made its debut in the US with Trapanese and Shinoda's version at Sundance 2012. Interesting. Shinoda stated that his score was over 50 minutes and almost all instrumental. It's pretty sick, that, Ross. After film production, he had room for 2 more songs but did not want to sing or rap, so he posted pictures of 2 music artists. Chano Moreno, that's the frontman of Deftones, guest performed Razors Out, which was leaked online on 16th of March 2012. As rap group Get Busy Committee performed suicide music for the film YouTube. We are talking about a band. Chill. The release, the film was marketed internationally through Celluloid Nightmares. I was going to start commenting on, well, we see Celluloid Nightmares walking around various cities on weekends, but anyway, that's another subject. A partnership between US-based XYZ Films and France's Celluloid Dreams. Sony Pictures Worldwide Acquisitions under their Sony Pictures Classic label in association with Stage 6 Films acquired the film's distribution rights for the US, Latin America, and España. They revised the film score, changed the title to The Raid Redemption for the US release. That's what Ross was talking about earlier. Yep. Distribution rights to other countries were sold to Kadokawa Pictures for Japan, Koch Media for Germany, Alliance Films for Canada, Momentum Pictures for the UK, Madman Entertainment for Australia. I think that's, our friend Mad Matt runs that one. Yep. SND HGC, that just flew over everyone's head, Ross, for China, and Kalenos Films for Turkey.
China.
Yeah, I'll be like, you cheat, you lie me, I'm going to... Deals were also made with distributors from Russia, Scandinavia, Benelux, Iceland, probably just butchered that pronunciation, Italy, South Korea, and India during the film screening at the Toronto International Film Festival, I think that is. Yeah.
Let's do a little... I don't know who the hell Get Busy Committee... Oh, no, I do know who Get Busy Committee is. That's Apathy. Dude, I knew it's Rio from Styles of Beyond, Apathy, and Scoop DeVille. I thought I heard Apathy on there, but I was like, that's not Apathy. He's from my neck of the woods. I'm,
Yeah. Wow, man.
From 2 states over. So, dude, Get Busy Committee. I remember when they were promoting that, and I was thinking, like, I have no idea who that is, but no,
Yeah.
Enough. The Razors Out song is very sick. You guys should check that out if you like Deftones. It's one thing I was going to say, guys, is I'm always surprised when, like, Chino, I know Chino does a lot of projects, but when he co-signs something like this and then he's on the big promo single and then Mike Shinoda is the producer, that a film like this, like, isn't way bigger given, like,
I know
the Deftones fan base, and the Linkin Park fan base. Now I know Gaz is going to say it's not a surprise that the Linkin Park fan base didn't support this, but
yeah, but with
but
Deftones, and
I mean,
yeah, but if you
some metalheads that are like, I watch action movies, you know,
and yeah, and he's it's not like he hasn't done this before, and it's one of the more positive aspects of the Crow City of Angels, Chino Moreno's, you know, his score and everything, and his involvement in that film. That's, in my opinion, that's probably the only other next good Crow movie after the original.
Comes out in
that's
2
it.
weeks, yeah.
And until Days of Sodom, yes. So
you like some music, Pixie, don't you? Or are you surprised that, you know, like, because I'm always like, dude, like Shinoda is such a big name, you know, being a LP founder, like Gaz said, and obviously Chino is too. So like, I get it's just the soundtrack, but like, still, if that's your favorite band, don't you want to go see what your, you know, your favorite?
I think if you did it now, if you got them involved in it now, possibly for the third one, not that horrendous remake. Yeah, and you could cut a video showing films from the scene with that sound, with the actual song or something. That would do well, because remember,
I think they had a video that had some of this stuff.
Well, I'm very surprised then. I'm very surprised learning that now, because I didn't know that. I'm very surprised about that.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just no, it's all right. I was just going to quote that that Ninja series with a lot of our boys on, you know, were on the soundtrack, and obviously everyone started talking about that. You know, we did cover it. Forget the name. Yes. Ninja. What was it?
What was that called?
Oh man,
had some weird name like that.
Yeah, it was like Ninja and then something.
Camus.
Ninja Kamoi, was it, or something?
Kamoi, that's what it was. Kamoi, I knew it was a K. Yeah. Definitely, that was fresh. Dude, I was dying because Apathy's a New England guy. I was totally like, dude, that sounds like Apathy, but I was like, dude, Apathy's not on the Raid soundtrack. You know what I mean? Because he was an underground guy back when I came up. You know what I mean? So it would have been big for any of us. But
well, it's like with we had what District 13, then Brick Mansions, and RZA was involved in that, and that helped Brick Mansions. Just RZA's name attached to it. The fact everyone was talking about that, like, look at it.
Based, so, like, the concept is literally based on kung fu movies, though.
Exactly, so they're much more tied in there.
If there wasn't overlap there,
exactly, Man with the iron fists and everything,
It's a kung fu movie, actually. So, I'm gonna skip home media and critical response at box office. Let you guys do that at home. We'll do a little bit of box office. Film sold 18,44817 tickets at the box office in 2012. How did it do? Gross 220,000, 24 theaters. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. It had a very limited release. Like, the only reason it was in my theater is because it was on the border of Chinatown. You know what I mean? So most people probably didn't get. Do you remember? Did it come around your way? Because it was
it did, but limited run. The Raid 2, I think,
a week or two.
Yeah, it went a little bit longer, but even now, aside from John Wick, that's why, I mean, how many times did me and you say, Ross, with the action movies, go support them, because they might
I'm going to go to normal just for 1 week. I'm going to go to normal first or second week, because you know they're going to pull it. So you know what I mean? Like, it's because it's Bob Odenkirk killing Yakuza. All right. Sequel, unless you want to do this, guys, you're probably more tapped into the sequel than I am. I can part after that.
Let me just find where we are.
Down there to that, then I'm going to cover your favorite part, which is the next section. You'll see there. So we can end it on a high note for guests.
Oh yeah, great, yeah.
Got him. Give you something
I've been waiting 10 years for that remake.
No man alive.
I'm the boss. So the sequel. Sequel. While developing the Raid in script form, Evans started to toy around with the idea of creating a link between it and his initial project, Barandal. It was later confirmed that Barandal would serve as a sequel to the Raid. Evans also stated his intention to make a trilogy. Yes, we need that. We don't need a remake. We need the third one. Sony pre-bought the US, Latin American, and Spanish rights to the sequel. Alliance Momentum bought the rights to the UK and Canada. Koch Media acquired the film for German-speaking territories. Korea Screen acquired the rights to Korea, and HGC acquired the rights to China. As deals for other major territories were also in negotiation. Subtitled Barandal for the Indonesian market and simply The Raid 2 for the US and the English-speaking world. The sequel had a significantly larger budget than its predecessor. Yeah, and you can see that with the action scenes. Yep. Its filming included approximately 100 days of shooting. Pre-production began in September 2012, while filming began in January 2013. On the release of The Raid 2 in 2015, Evans said he had ideas for The Raid 3, but nothing had been written yet, and a third film was not likely to happen before 2018 or 2019. In a 21st of November 2016 interview with Impact Online, director Evans revealed the sequel was on hold, which sucks, and with the franchise likely having ended, stating, "Moving back to the UK felt like a closing chapter on that franchise. Nah, we ended the story pretty neatly, I feel, in part 2. I'm aware there's an interest for it, so never say never, but it's unlikely to happen anytime soon." In September 2018, Evans again stated he felt the story was complete and that a third film was highly unlikely. Okay, I get that, Ross, but then do something new, get Iko on it and do this new, let's give us more of this intense action. I know, Havoc was good, we like that, I know some people don't, but essentially give us a new kind of Raid then.
Yeah, I hear it. I mean, I like him as a director. I think this guy was the breakout star of 2011. I think he far outshined the action genre, and then of course he put on Iko, who Iko got picked up in Expendables 4, and we've seen him in a few other things doing well, crossed over a little bit to the English market, much like Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa's cancer cleared up, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. So
I heard about that. Really glad about that. Positive vibes. There's only one positive aspect, Ross, I can say of this remake that you're thrilled to cover in a moment is Gareth Evans apparently is going to be writer direct. No, he's going to serve as executive producer. I read that wrong.
I mean, and here's the thing. So let's just revisit something that me and Gaz has said many, many, many times on Paradigm Review Show is James Cameron was executive producer on Terminator Dark Fate. Did you guys think that was a good film? Ridley Scott was executive producer on Alien Covenant. That was also shite and poo, as Gaz's emoji sound effect just did there. So, American Remake. A few months after Sony acquired the film's North American distribution rights, it was announced at The Hollywood Reporter that its subsidiary company, Screen Gems, had begun negotiations to produce a Hollywood remake. Keyword Hollywood, guys. Raid 1 and 2 are not Hollywood. The Raid was completed in November 2011 with writer-director Gareth Evans to serve as an executive producer of the remake. XYZ Films executive producers on the original Indonesian version will be producers on the American version. So, I mean, if they keep a lot of that stuff, guys, it may pan out, but we need more information. Screen Gems also wants the same choreographers from the Raid involved with the remake. Okay, that's going in the right direction. On 21 February 2014, the studio picked Patrick Hughes. That's where we got a problem, guys. He's the genius mind behind Expendables 3, aka Expendative Bullshit P. And hold on, to direct the remake. A day later, reports stated that both Chris and Liam Hemsworth were being eyed for roles by the studio. I guess they're the brothers. On 27th May 2014, Variety reported that the film's production was delayed until early 2015. On 13 June 14, Frank Grillo was the first to be announced to star in the remake. I mean, and as a fan of the original, I mean, I like Grillo a lot.
Yeah, me too.
On June 2014, Geek Tyrant revealed that the remake will be set in the near future. It sounds like Crow 2037. On August 2014, The Wrap reported that Taylor Klisch has been cast in the lead. I don't even know who that guy is. Taylor Kitts. We'll have to look him up. I have no idea who this guy is.
Battleship 2012, John Carter, Lone Survivors, Savages, X-Men Origins.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lone Survivor. It looks like the rest of his stuff's crap. Has been cast in the lead role, and also that XYZ Films returning to produce the remake, which is expected to hew closely to the original film. On 22 August 14, Hughes revealed that describes his version, is that English, as being in the vein of Black Hawk Down and Zero Dark 30. I mean, Black Hawk Down's good. Zero Dark 30 was okay.
So that's more on the gun side to me, more on the weapons, like military.
I hear you. Yeah.
Well, I know it's police unit in the Raid, sorry, but focusing more on that aspect than the martial arts side.
For sure. For 12 integral roles. According to Tracking Board on 23 October 2015, both Screen Gems and Kish had dropped out of the project, and Hughes was also dropped out as director. In February 2017, XYZ Films revealed that Joe Carnahan will produce and direct the remake, with Evans as a producer. On 10 January 22, Deadline reported the remake will premiere on Netflix, with Patrick Hughes directing alongside Michael Bay producing and Evans as executive producer. So just a long, convoluted mess of development hell there, guys. I don't know that it actually means anything. I will say that the article I sent Gaz was Evans making a comment that his third concept was focusing on the Yakuza perspective, which I think would bring something fresh perspective in, as Gaz was saying, and kind of switch up the dynamic. Gaz and I have always said, if it's not capable and Evans feels like it's done, then it's probably just done, because one is considered the best modern action epic of all time. Gaz likes 2. It's very good. I don't rate it as highly as 1.
Why? I mean, they mentioned Bybust 2018 Philippine film with a similar premise. I've seen it. It's actually pretty decent. Okay. And there was, I mean, this is on Netflix. There was a recent, well, it was last year, Siam, which is an action horror survival film, and it's mainly set in a hospital, but it's definitely got weird elements because it's a former Muay Thai fighter who's pretty much fighting against the infected. Loads of zombies, and it has its moments, Ross. It was all right. It wasn't anything great, but my thing is, Ross, why did we need a remake of The Raid? Because we didn't. Who asked for this? Nobody wanted.
I mean, my only thing was, if you're going to bring in like that whole new like Scott Adkins style and kind of do something, you know, just taking a different direction and maybe involved like some of the Eastern guys. I don't know. It
handle that.
In a very tough spot here, trying to like defend this. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything that could work conceptually, and I don't know that there is. So I would I was telling Gaz my video game idea earlier. If you just get Iko's voice and just get some of the famous voices, Yayan and Iko and the guys that you know, and kind of go that route, that's kind of where I would take it. Obviously there's the John Wick game trailer out now. Comics and animation, a graphic novel based on The Raid was released 21 May 2012 in Indonesia. I wonder if we can get a translation, guys. A stop motion short depicting the plot of The Raid as a clay animated cats made by Lead Hardcastle, released on 11/2012, was included in the special features disc. A Flash animated teaser spoof depicting The Raid as a 90s anime made by Philip Askins, released on 19/12/2012, is also included. That sounds cool, guys. I would definitely want to like. And that's another thing too, like the Netflix animated, standalone or series, like Kamoi. Like you said, like maybe you just go that way if it's not working out, and then do the Yakuza thing, I think that works. Final 22 June 16, Hollywood Reporter announced Titan Comics teamed up with Gareth Evans and XYZ Films for a comic book spin-off series featuring original stories featuring characters from the Raid movie series, with a launch date expected for late 2016. Doesn't sound like that ever finished. And then Dread, as Gaz and I said, a UK South African film with similar premise, although released the same year as The Raid. Dread started production earlier. So the big thing is like they copied each other, but obviously Dread already started shooting, so it's pretty difficult to make that argument, guys. But I think me and Ghazi, of course, like we said, we'll do some UFC picks before we get out of here, and look out for us for No Escape next week, Gaz. But I think we're at, please drop your ratings in the chat. The Raid Redemption has a 7.6 out of 10, almost 230K reviews on IMDb. I mean, that's high for IMDb, dude. You got to be real. They rate things 4s and 5s because like, there was no blood in the night scene, It's all, shut up. Okay, just shut up. All right. This is Paradigm Review Show. We're always right here. Me and guys are the boss. No matter
what. We're the boss of you, Winston. You work for us.
We're the boss of the YouTube reviews. No matter what. 10 out of 10 on The Raid. Gareth Evans. I wanted to give people more places to watch it, but for free, guys, you have to go to Pluto TV. You can rent it on Prime. Go get a hard copy. Go buy a Blu-ray.
Definitely.
Guys,
so
what do you got?
Yeah, I'm the same. Because I've been so pro today and last, I have got a hard copy of the sequel here, not the original, which I do have a hard copy of. But what the hell? You can see the sequel there. I may as well show you this.
Same lead, same character.
Same lead. There we go. And inside there maybe was a booklet. Booklet seems to have disappeared. But there we go, folks. Yeah. That scene there on the DVD is an epic fight, reminiscent of Mad Dog in the first one. Next time I will remember to have actually the hard copy of the said original there when we cover it, not the sequel.
Or just or just suggest that we do Raid 2 in the chat or the comments, and then Gaz could take that one out again, and we'll actually review the disc he's showing.
Yeah, and show the original on Raid 2.
Exactly.
Balance
here's
it.
One, here's two. Button hook them.
Yeah. So, folks, I read this.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I rate this 10 out of 10. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I was saying to Ross, this, The Raid 2, Flashpoint with Donnie Yen. I love that movie. So yeah, 10 out of 10, definitely. One of the best martial arts action movies that's out there, period.
Crazy directing, tight angles, super smooth, crazy stunts, very violent, hard R, really good special effects, really good, camera angles, score, Mike Shinoda. Although I don't love his Linkin Park music, his scores are actually insane. So he's an insane composer and producer. So I think that was the right choice, bringing him and Chino on for the Razors Out track. I think that's basically everything we got on Raid Redemption. One of both of our favorite. I'd say this is the Enter the Dragon of the modern warfare guys.
Easy.
Just if you haven't seen SWAT, crazy introduction to that style.
You make a good reference point there, and we've talked about this when we covered Enter the Dragon, Game of Death. If you think of the kind of idea Bruce had of going up them different levels against different styles, this has kind of been taken into this urban environment, working up a tower 100%. Block. 100%. Yeah.
Instead of just like a floor of a building and fighting one guy, like a room of a building and fighting one guy, it's fighting a floor of a guy. You know what I mean? So it ups the ante.
I do want to recommend this for people. I'll just check the name really quick. There is a series on Netflix, Korean mob drama.
Guys.
Yeah, Havoc as well. And I'm sure, was it called No Mercy, possibly?
That sounds familiar.
I think it is, and it's or it says it's a revenge crime thriller, but I'm sure this is the one where there's some really brutal fight scenes, and it kind of, from what I can remember, and I hope I've got the right series, but it was like taking the crime element out of the Raid, with the Yakuza, the mafia, and centralizing it around that, and then throwing a revenge aspect to it. So that's one threat. I think it is I might be not No Mercy. Yes, I have got it wrong. I think it's Mercy for None. Yeah, Mercy for None. Yeah, that's it. Mercy for None. Highly recommend that. If you're a fan of the Raid, definitely go and check that series out.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Definitely check out Havoc. I don't know why people are so hard on it. I just don't know. Havoc is more of like a new school John Woo film. If you like The Killer, A Better Tomorrow, any of the John Woo classics, I think you definitely would like Havoc. Usual Evans style. He more of the police internal affairs type thing going on, but very sick nonetheless. So
yeah.
I think that'll do it for the Raid Redemption, guys. Join us next week for No Escape, another classic sci-fi. Ray Liotta, rest in peace to Ray Liotta. So that should be sick. And then we'll drop the May schedule, which just give you guys a quick preview. We're going to do Split Second on May 2nd, Hobo with a Shotgun on May 9th, a PXF Classic, Mad Max Fury Road, Gaz's PXF Classic May 16th. And Fear and Loathing, Gaz, I think I might be traveling that weekend, so we might bump it from the 23rd to the 30th, but otherwise everything will be crispy. And before we get out of here, I suppose we could do a little bit of UFC picks for you, Pixie. But who do you got going down for UFC? We also have BKFC Honolulu. So no CGI, no budget. They made action.
Yeah, I saw it earlier, Pixie. Thanks. I've got it. I'll definitely peep that. Yeah.
Mini doc on the making of the Raid. Yuri Prochazka versus Olberg. Really crazy fight, guys. Obviously, Olberg, I think is he 12 or 13-0 with last few knockouts. Is he out of New Zealand? I'm going Yuri Prochazka, but Olberg has 12 or 13 knockouts on his run. So, I mean, I'm a big Yuri guy. It could go either way, though, to light heavy bout. So that's going to be really, really close. Do you have a pick in that one?
I'm gonna say Yuri, but okay, I'm gonna go on a hunch. I just have a feeling upset with Ulberg.
Yeah,
so there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm edging Yuri. I think if Ulberg gets him in the first couple rounds, but if Yuri can stretch it out, he has a better chance to finish it late. I don't really know anything about Murzakanov. I'm not really a big Costa fan, so hopefully Murzakanov smokes him. Costa's been annoying lately. Blades versus Hokit. Hokit is the most cringe, annoying UFC fighter I've ever seen. Can't stand the guy. He's doing these stupid WWE rhyming promos trying to sound like Ric Flair. Bro, shut up. Blades, please shut this guy up. Please, Blades. If I need to put money on Blades on DraftKings to win, I'll do whatever. Reyes versus Walker. Pretty close. I mean, both guys are kind of like journeymans with wins and losses. I think Walker might get that one. But I don't know if you have a pick on that.
Either way.
50-50 fight could be close, you know.
Yeah, I could. If I'm gonna edge, Walker.
That's where I'm at. Reyes is good, but what's he done for me lately? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cub Swanson versus Landwehr. I don't know anything about Landwehr. Cub is a legend. It's his final fight, retirement fight. Hopefully Cub goes out with that W.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Might be tough for him. Might get rocked, but last fight, I hope he wins, you know?
Pity Joshua Van was cancelled, isn't he? I like Joshua.
Yeah. I think they redid something there. Not exactly sure. Patricio Pitbull versus Pico. I like Pitbull a lot. He needs a win in UFC. I mean, he really needs a win in UFC, so I hope he doesn't get ripped up too badly. Holland and Brown. I think that's a very close mirror match. I'm going to go Holland.
Great.
Gamrot versus Rebo Ricks. I feel like Gamrot annoys me, right? So I'm going to go Rebo Ricks.
Well, there's a reason.
I don't care how good he is. I'm just hating on him. No man alive can beat my man Rebo Ricks. Suarez.
It works for me.
Suarez versus Godinez. Suarez is annoying, so Godinez. Don't know Padilla Medeiros. Gastelum versus Luque. Okay, I like both guys. I'd like to see Gastelum get it, but I don't know. I think Luque came up. I don't know if this is his first fight at that weight. So,
am I getting this right? It's saying it's been apparently, bro. It's saying that was cancelled and Suarez won against Godinez.
Wow, it already went down, dude. Yeah. And I don't know anything about Rataki and Prado. So, yeah, guys, BK, you probably have to find you might have to find a free stream on that one, Pixie. UFC's on Paramount, but you can, so I've heard, you can find links on the internet. How's that, guys? I think that's it, guys. Check out UFC, check out BKFC. Tyson, Gypsy King got the W for us, guys. So now we need Tommy Fury to win that abomination of a match against Eddie Hall.
Yeah.
Beauty versus the Beast. I just told you, Pix. I'm not your content curator. All right, guys, we're out of here. We're out of here. Join us next week for No Escape. I haven't seen it in mad long, guys. It should be
same. And yes, I've seen the sequels as well. Yeah, I've seen the sequels as well, and not for a long time, but yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody. Positive vibes to you all. And we'll see you next time.
Sub, guys, on Mosh Shinobi. Like, sub, share. You can click the join button for membership. The Zodiac Files Episode 5 main series, the Lake Herman Road Ambush, coming very soon. And you can always get me over to the Patreon. You can join with your free Gmail. And we'll be doing some more Most Dangerous Game on that stuff over there.
If I remember this correctly, quick plug, you're doing something associated with Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, dropping soon.
You could say that it's associated with that. I'm gonna have.
I'm trying.
Are you poking the bear right now? Do you know what that video is about?
I don't, because I haven't had a chance to check it because I was too busy watching No Man Alive.
Since brought this up, I'm gonna open up the can of worms. So shout out to what we call the WKKK channel. You guys stole $30,000 Australian from a Kurt Cobain fan in Australia. The whole thing got exposed by American Spy Fox. Go check out Charlie Elliott's channel. Also, Tom Grant the detective that Courtney hired to find Kurt. He's the one who exposed you guys from taking money from the neo-Nazi Joe Burns, who had a swastika eagle for his profile picture when he paid you guys, and then Tom Grant. So tune into my short dropping at 7 p.m. addressing Michelle and Lisa, the two grifters from the WKK channel that stole $20,000 USD that was supposed to go to Gary Cobain, Kurt Cobain's real uncle. So that's what the Cobain fans on YouTube that you guys give your money to on Patreon and YouTube, and then they just go rob Kurt's family. So I hope you guys are really proud of that if you supported those two channels. So I'm sure that wasn't the answer guys was expecting, but my short topic drops at 7 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, I'm calling out grifters on PXF now.
Well, I was just
can't do that. Like,
doing my job there, being PXM or various divisions. If I don't promote what we've all got coming up, whatever avenue it is with PXM, I obviously wouldn't be doing my job. And
you weren't expecting that, were you?
Wow, that's no, not at all. Wow, it's
those people are scumbags, really, really bad people. So when that video drops, hype it, run it up, like it. Yeah. You can check out my interview with Charlie, American Spy Fox. Been talking to him on the back channels, and then he's got a video out there with Gary Cobain, and as well as the video interviewing the girl that they stole the 30,000 Australian from. Oh, funny story. There will be a link in that video. Michelle and Lisa, the two grifters that run that channel, tried to call the venue that Gary Cobain's music benefit show was going on and harass them to try to get it shut it down. Like, you guys are a YouTube channel with no power. Like, that's the problem with the true crime world, guys, is people can just make up any narrative now and make a channel about it and then start taking crowdfunding people's money because they're solving the Kurt Cobain crime, right? Give me a break, guys. You guys are
taking advantage of people's interest in something.
Exposed. Yeah, exactly. That's a dude who's died, whose daughter doesn't have him anymore, and then they're grifting off his family and the fan base. It's really embarrassing stuff, guys. But WKK Exposed drops 7 p.m. Pacific on PXF. Go run up that short, like it, hype it, get that video up, because people need to know what happened there, because otherwise people are just going to keep giving their money to these grifter scammer channels, and you know what I mean, thinking that they're solving the Cobain crime.
Yeah,
So, you know what I mean? So it's really embarrassing. So I just felt it's something PXF needed to address, much like I called out Alex Baber recently for the Zodiac grifting. So hit my boiling point in the true crime world, guys. When I see something that's just blatantly out there and just everyone knows about it, and these channels go on taking money from Nirvana fans, I just can't let it slide. Sorry, guys. Like it, don't like it. That's my position. It won't be changing. So bit of a different outro here on Paradigm Review Show than we usually have.
Well,
but everyone
you know. But at least you know what's coming up, folks, and you know where we stand on that. So you know that's that. So again, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time for No Escape. And UFC. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.
Tyson Fury with the win. Shots fired. Bow, bow, bow. Hung, hung. Grifters, all watch out. I'm coming for you. Peace. Subscribe, like, sub, share. You can join my channel if you want actual 100% shot and produced PXF Zodiac created content. And I don't tell you that I'm solving the Zodiac crime with the crowdfunding or any of that nonsense that other channels do. I just make my content shot on site. Nobody else has that in the Zodiac community.